a struggle.
When the national rainbow gatherings meet in America, it's anywhere from 10 to 50,000 people. There's a lot of stuff when we're all done. When the large part of the gathering is over after the 7th of July, a lot of people go home. And then there's specific cleanup crews that go around and they make sure that the place is as close to possible as the way we left it.
Well, we're trying to recycle all of it, We're trying to get, that's our goal. That's our goal, is to recycle things, get it back into the system, keep batteries out of landfills, because that poisons the groundwater.
This gathering was, I believe, the first community in America, maybe in the world, actually to do source separation recycling. We taught ourselves that it's possible to recycle what we use. Now most cities do it. We don't need credit for it. What we need is more cities doing it.
First of all, is get all the stuff out.
We are only here for like 2-3 weeks, and afterwards it's completely disappeared. The camp, there's no trace of it. We disappeared the fire pits and, renaturalized the ground cover and all of that.
And then we have a crew that comes through and does micro. They do micro trash, and they get, even the little stuff, cigarette butts, everything, and once we get that, there's the last guy out. And he's always off and looking, and he's a good friend of mine, I've personally went and got him back in October in certain gatherings.
Because how could we be, rainbow people speaking these things of peace and love and unity, and then we did go and trash Mama Earth?
The Gorilla Funk Theater came to be with a bunch of crazy-ass kids running around on Grateful Dead tour. And now it's like a family tradition, pretty much. It's become that,
Basically, we wanted to create a space that appealed to all the senses, a place where no one would go away unfed, from the youngest to the oldest. If it wasn't the music, it was the dance. If it wasn't the dance, it was the literature. If it wasn't the literature, it was the food, and so on and so forth. The Gorilla Funk also builds a huge theatrical stage out of wood and whatever else we can find or throw together. We give a platform for people to speak their mind. Art is fleeting, and we build this thing. It takes us 6 or 7 days to build it. So you make those incision cuts first. You try, put your foot on it, make the incision cuts first, knock it back gently.
You gotta be careful up here.
A safety railing up here. And after we get that, we should do art stuff on that. You know what I mean? To round the structure.
Thank you very much.
So much great entertainment tonight. This show is going to blow your mind.
We also pride ourselves on being a non-dogmatic place. A lot of the places at rainbow gatherings, have a very specific spiritual nature, which is great. You know what I mean? There's Christians and Krishnas and Buddhists and Muslims and pagans and atheists, and the Gorilla Funk prides itself in being a eclectic, but non-denominational and bipartisans, and accepting to all cultures and which in theory all rainbow people are.
Love that falls upon the weak and weary. Love that brings the darkness to its knees.
Many cultures, sing and carry on their traditions through music and song and also through writing. But I see the Rainbow family, and once again, in my opinion, as a very oral group. And we share a lot of our messages and a lot of our culture through song and through music.
You will find a lot of folks playing their music, music they have written or come up together. You'll see everything from belly dancers to jugglers to little Susie, 4-year-old Susie singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to a crowd of 1,000.
We love you.
Welcome home.
All I know is that the world is where I want to be. With the wild nights and the wild dreams and the wild tobacco to soothe our stings, all right. just bought a pickup with farm use tags. If I could just find my daddy's real name, I'd get back my license and I'd buy her a ring. Or we could just fast our hands. It's all the same out here. All I know is that the wild is where I wanna be. With the wild nights and the wild dreams and the wild tobacco to soothe our stings, all right. Hey, 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 hey. I promised we'd make love all the way to Walmart in the back of our resurrected Subaru, with Big Mama at the wheel. There wasn't nothing I wouldn't say or do for her.
You know, you started gatherings, you know, la-di-da-di-da, we're having a good time, da-da-da-da, hippies, oh, somebody's got a baby, oh, look at that, what's going to happen now? Are we going to disappear? You know, is the gathering going to be supportive for the elderly and the children? Because if it's not community, right?
Kitty Village is a representation of our future. It's where a lot of the mothers and the fathers go and the children go. It's supposed to be our safest place, our healthiest place, our most wholesome place, our most healing place.
In the 21st century, people are constantly plugged in, you know? If you're not talking on your cell phone, it's there. It's going to disturb you at any moment, you know? It just can just ring up and give you any kind of good news, bad news, what are you doing, where are you? People have wires sticking out of their ears, listening to music, they're not experiencing where they are. It's not happening here, you know? It's a break from the media torrent. And I think that's really, really important and evident in Kids Village. You go in there and a lot of these kids, you know, who haven't been to gatherings before, for the first time in their life, these are the first media-free days they've ever experienced.
Kid Village offers a significant portion of foundation to reality of long-standing community. Because if you can't take care of the children and you can't take care of the old people, you ain't got nothing.
We also try to let them be free, get a little dirty, mess up a little bit, but all in all, it's a celebration. And singing and dancing in Kitty Village, there's nothing like it.
The mighty forest, the rainbow sings tonight. In the forest, the mighty forest, the rainbow sings tonight. On my way, way up joy, way up joy. We love you. We love you. We
Starts this wave. It's magnificent.
There's a lot of theories, some of which are kind of crazy, on what exactly the feds are doing here. But if you look at the official stories. And I never really kind of was able to get a coherent official story out of the federal government. The official stories don't make any sense. So what we're left with is crazy theories.
The incident command team is a kind of FEMA-based process for unifying law enforcement in multiple agencies.
When I get a word by walk away.
Yeah, I do that when I'm
the
smart,
bottom
but at
line.
the moment I'm not.
There's a footprint out there. If you recall, that's what I talked about at the meeting that you folks had. This is already all the way up to the Washington office.
Because they're pretty good about repairing.
This is already being discussed in a lot of political circles that are way above me. And I guarantee you that next year, this is going to be remembered.
And in a good world, there's nothing really wrong with this kind of coordination. But in a world where there are power politics, and there are prejudices, and there are still so many aggressive attitudes, we have a problem where incident command turns us into an emergency so they can test and field test what I can only call oppressive and totalitarian practices on free people.
You know, when they come in, I've always suggested, let's say welcome home, Forest Service. Not any other sort of idiom, but just welcome home, you know, so they feel part of this, because they're really not outside of this. They're human beings, and therefore they're part of the Rainbow family.
I remember back in the day when law enforcement would come in the gathering, and they respected that they were in a cathedral of nature, that they were in some place where people were coming to pray.
So I got down on my knees and I started oming.
Get the guns out of Kid Village, please.
And they just started indiscriminately shooting people.
The incident command team has come in here with paintball guns that are filled with pepper gas pellets. They've used them in Kid Village.
He just got shot in the face! Get him water! Get him water! Here, wash your face. Bend down.
He stood right there and pointed a gun right at us. Like we were going to hurt him or something.
Pointed a gun at us.